Good morning and happy Monday to you. Hope you had a great weekend. We're coming to you right here out of Mansfield, Texas. Sir Rick, Drive Safe, Dave, and the producer celebrating 9 days of driving safe. 9 days of y'all out there on them dangerous highways. 19 days of crazy, crazy good driving. And that's what we want to see. We want you involved in safety. We want you involved in those decision makings. Drive Safe, how was that weekend?
Not long enough as usual, but it was a beautiful weekend. I did, however, work out in the yard. I held the water.
You worked out in the yard. You had your pump and iron out in the yard.
No,
Were you Drive Safe? So I'm just trying to see this. Did you have the bench press out there laying down in the front yard with the shirt off, just going? Oh!
In the garage, out in the garage. I was bench pressing. Yeah.
Well, no, good for you, man. You look a little buff today. I'll be honest with you.
I feel a little buff. I'm not sure if that's the right way to say it, but I feel a little buff.
So you're saying you're out in the front yard holding your hose, watering? Yeah. All right. Well, good for you.
All the plants that we had purchased, I was making sure that they didn't dry up and die.
So I had I had to get a tree cut down this weekend. The old oak tree in the backyard, it didn't make it. We brought the plantologist out last year to try to save the tree. And pretty much, arborist. So he's like, yeah, you know what? Let's give it a year and let's see what happens when it comes back. Well, I'm not sure if the cold helped or not or hurt the tree, but let me tell you something. Every tree around it is green. This sucker is dead. And
it's firewood.
So it is now firewood at my house. So here's a funny story. So Kendra and I are sitting on the back porch. It was probably 5 months ago, sitting outside drinking coffee one Sunday morning. And I was just looking at that tree saying, there's no chance this tree makes it. This tree is done. We're going to have to cut it down. And and just as I said that, a bird, not a hawk, not a vulture, not an eagle, just a normal sized bird lands on a tree, part of the tree branch. And it's a tree branch that's connected to the tree. So it's pretty strong and it breaks. A tree lands on it and it goes down. I was like, yeah, I think that tree has seen its time. Hey, don't know if you saw this or not, but we did have the up in Mars, more action in Mars.
Oh, yeah. We had basically a helicopter running around out in Mars.
I guess did it run around to just go 10 feet in the air and just kind of hang out right there?
It hovered. Okay, it hovered.
And I wish we had pictures. Because I did go back and look at some like the NASA. They are celebrating. And I'm thinking that thing went 10 feet in the air and just stood there. And then it talked about the wind, the gust, or whatever. I'm thinking, whatever. It's a $13 million helicopter or whatever, 85. How heavy? How much did that sucker cost?
I have one of those at my house that I can run around with, and basically one of those drones. I have a drone.
So that's what those folks in NASA are have an expensive toy. It better go 10 feet. Is all I got to say. It better go 10 feet. Not that. You know what? Who said that? That don't impress me much. Shania Twain.
It is kind of neat though. I find it neat that we were able to, in a almost zero atmosphere, pick up. To lift off. It's got almost no atmosphere, so that's pretty neat.
Yeah. To go off of Dave's point a little bit, it is the first time we've ever had flight on another planet. And it is also adjusting to a different atmosphere, so there's different aerodynamics to take into account and stuff like that.
Blah, blah,
but it's not impressive, right?
Blah, blah, blah,
There's
blah.
no ride.
Yeah.
Can't ride.
Yeah. Whatever.
Did it pick anything up? Did it move any freight?
There's not any trees for it to. It's not even a challenge. There's nothing in the air. At least here on Earth, we have trees you can run into to make it a challenge. You have cars on the highway that may run over it if it falls down. What's it gonna do there? If it falls down, it's just gonna go down. And it's gonna go back up. There's nothing.
Nobody can pick it up though. Nobody can go over it.
I'm sure they have a $95 million extra thing there to go out and reach it and pick it back up. There's something out there that I sure. Hey, speaking of the automotive or I guess it's not the automotive, but we had a Tesla act. What is that? The
fatality.
Yeah, in the autonomous. There you go. Autonomous vehicle. The assumption is right now that there was nobody driving the car. There was somebody in the front seat and the back seat, and this was down in Houston, Texas. We had an accident, a fatality. 2 people died in it. We got the investigators, or they have the investigators looking at that. And Drive Safe, that made me think of a couple of things. Number one, so when these autonomous vehicles are going, I wonder how they make their decisions, on a when it comes to a turn, whether the roads are wet, whether the roads, the tires. I mean, do they know that the tires have 4 30 seconds on them as opposed to 12? Are they making decisions based on 12 30 seconds or 4 30 seconds in that tire? What are they making their decisions to turn, to maneuver on? Everything being perfect? Or what's going on with that vehicle right now?
That's a great question. I know that they can check tire pressure, but I don't know if they can.
Yeah, but and I agree on the tire pressure. Those things you can check on that. But that made me think there. Okay, if it's coming across a curve and it's wet right there, and let's just say it's not raining. Let's just say that it had rained and now there's water there and it's going across that turn there. How does it know to slow down before it's too late?
Much more than it would on a normal turn.
Mhm.
I'm not sure. I have no idea. I'm pretty impressed that they can drive without anybody in them to begin with. But that the decision making process has got to be complex, and much like what we do every day when we do a pre-trip.
Mm.
So I mean, I don't know what their pre-trip is for the computer, but it seems like it would be necessary.
Yeah, and again, there's aside from the just from the components you can check, there are things that we've got to look at too when we're getting out of our vehicles in the morning, when we're doing the goal to get out and look, when we're doing our pre-trip. There's a lot of things that we have to do to make sure that we are making decisions based on our equipment, right? Based on the tire, the tread depth in the tire.
Yeah, and also if the road's wet, right?
Mhm.
On not only driving conditions, equipment, traffic conditions. There's a million things that go through that process. I'm not sure exactly what we don't. The car burned all the way to the ground, right? So I'm not sure what evidence that they can get from that or what it has, but those batteries caught fire, and boy, when they're damaged, that was pretty. I mean, you look at it, it burned all the way down.
Yeah, it just makes me think, it's when we talk about the autonomous vehicles, when we talk about trucking and all that, listen, is it going to happen? It's going to happen eventually. There's no doubt. I just still think we're just a little ways away from that happening all in because of things like this. This is important to me because it's going to have to answer a lot of questions. What happened? I mean, these cars, they know everything, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they know this, and did it, was there a little, malfunction for a second and drive safer and any driver out there, we know this, that it only takes 1 second for something bad to happen.
Yep.
1 second from your eyes off the road before something bad happens. Man, we remember that. We saw that video, I think, last week of the gentleman moving his duffel bag. And all it took for him, and that 1 second became 2 seconds.
Yep.
But all that took was for him to go off the side of the road, run into those trees. And it could have been a myriad of things that he ran into. Thankfully, it was just trees, though.
Yeah, it was little trees, not just, and little trees makes a difference because you definitely don't want to hit one of those big trees because they are very unforgiving. But I'll tell you what, the decision-making process has to be good behind the wheel. It doesn't matter if it's autonomous, and it doesn't matter if it's one of our drivers. It doesn't matter if anybody's behind the road. The decision process, you have to stay focused, and you have to make good decisions out there, or any of these stuff can happen. Anything can happen when it comes to being out there because conditions change, situations change. And just like that guy, when he's reaching for the bag, the truck just drifted because he wasn't paying attention to what was going on in front of him.
Yeah, and we're going to listen. It's Monday. We're going to speak a lot about safety still this week. We're talking about distracted driving. We're going to keep talking about that. And I know Buckle Up Bob has other things, but boy, the distractions we've got to really pay attention to. We've got to make sure that we're staying focused on what we do. Drive safe. We talked about it this weekend on the weekend call. Hey, listen, don't forget, we're on Sunday through Saturday, 7 days a week. Don't forget that you can log into this station for real live weather updates. You can get to us for for updates on the safety news, everything. I want y'all to realize that this station's for you. You can go to BCB Live or the website, bcbtransport.com. Up there in that right-hand corner, you can click BCB Live and go to our radio. You can follow us on Twitter. You can follow us on Facebook.
Yeah.
We have a YouTube channel.
Yep.
We're the real deal here at BCB
We
Transport.
are the real deal.
We are all over the place. We're all over the internet. Be sure and follow us. It's important it's important that we get the word out. We have a lot of things. If you don't have LinkedIn, listen, you can go to LinkedIn. You can follow us on LinkedIn as well. Lot of ways for you to get out there and pass what we're talking about on to our fellow drivers. Because it's not just about BCB, it's about making our industry the safest industry we can. Drive safe.
Yeah, and sharing the BCBs of trucking with everybody. You know, we've gone a long way. We've worked out a lot of stuff, and we've basically initiated the idea and the BCBs of trucking with our team, and we want to share that great idea. We want to make sure that everybody gets to have a little bit of what's going on and a little bit of what we've learned over the last few years when it comes to the BCBs of trucking and how it's been implemented here. And we want to make sure everybody has an opportunity to see that.
Yes, we do. And so I wanted to get that out to you. One more thing before we get to that phrase that pays. Drive safe, Dave. We had a new Camel born up in the north area that was Milwaukee. Milwaukee had one. Here you go. It looks like I thought it was you walking out of the bar the other day, right there.
I don't have that much hair, but yeah, wobbly. You know, I guess did baby camels? I guess baby camels make the news. I'm not.
You know what? It's a feel good story. Come on now. I think it's the first one born in Milwaukee ever. Right? Those are when these animals have birth. You know, it's a big deal, drive safe. Penguins, camels, you know, it's all good stuff.
It's only been going on for.
Look at it. It's just, isn't that cute? Isn't that the cutest thing?
It's adorable.
I want a pet camel.
No, I do not.
I do want a pet
spit
camel.
on you, and I'm telling you, the good thing is that I don't know.
That sucker looks like he belongs on Mars, for real. Look at that. Ugly.
Buzzard.
Yeah, buzzard. There you go. Hey, drive safe. Phrase that pays time. Can you give it to us?
Yeah, when you see the cones and flashing lights, slow down and save a life.
One more time and slow it down.
When you see the cones and flashing lights, slow down and save a life.
All right, come on now, give it to us. What's that mean, drive safe?
That means when you're coming into those construction areas, those construction zones, and those areas in where everybody is working and trying to make the roads above a C, to get above a C average, to slow down, give them a break, give them a chance to survive, give them an opportunity to do the work out there and make it a safe place, not only for you, but for everybody around you.
Yeah. And you know what, as we come into springtime and summer right around the corner, listen, there's a lot more construction going on, right?
A ton.
And it's not just the workers drive safe, David. So it's the trucks that are merging into the roads too from the construction zones.
Yeah, it's not just the traffic. It's also you're entering in it and it changes drastically. Your lanes can change, your pathway can change. You can even go on to oncoming lanes. You got to be real careful because the traffic patterns change constantly. But really, what you want to do is you want to set the example and slow down. And what you can do is you can be the leader as you move into these construction zone and show everybody what it means to be a professional driver.
Yeah, and I think drive safe. If anything, think about this as you're going in those construction zones that's somebody's grandma, grandpa, dad, brother, sister out there working.
Oh yeah.
Think about life and think about, the danger that they're up against. And it doesn't seem so, I guess, sometimes, but them folks are working right there next to a vehicle that's slowed down going 50 and drive safe. If you get hit by a vehicle going 50, it's still going to hurt.
Yes.
Right? It's going to leave a mark.
Yeah,
it's going to probably take a life. And that's what we have to remember. We have slowed it down.
Right.
And even though we've slowed it down, boy, it takes 1 second of being distracted, from them as well. It takes them falling to the side or doing something, tripping. And just like that, they are in our path. We've got to be ready for everything. At 50, at 45, whatever that speed is in the construction zones, you're probably still going to kill somebody if you hit them.
Yeah, but the opportunity is that when you do slow down, it gives you a chance. It gives you a little bit better chance to do and react accordingly. I mean, if you're going through there barreling at 70, which is, first of all, you're breaking the law, right? You're already well above what you need to be doing, but you're not doing anything safe for anybody. And then if you go in there below the speed limit, you're doing yourself a great favor, but what you're doing is you're basically creating a better environment for the people behind you, right? Nobody's pushing you through there. Nobody's going to push you through there, and you're just going to create a safer environment for everybody.
No doubt about it. Hey, listen, it's Monday morning. Lots of stuff going on this week. No better reminder though in Drive Safe than to play this little episode here to remind you of things that are going on inside of BCB Transport.
What you doing?
Hey, oh, just giving myself a manicure. I'd love to be able to go out and pay someone to do it, but Riley's prom's coming up. I got to pay for her nails and her makeup and a limo and all that fun stuff.
Oh.
And there just never seems to be any extra money for the things I want to do.
Right.
Hey, did you know the average payout bonus for the safety bonus is $880 every quarter?
No, really? I didn't know that. Did you?
No, maybe I need to be a driver.
Well, we are always looking for new drivers.
Good morning, everybody.
What's up, Bob?
Hi, Drive Safe. Love the Camel. I had the privilege to ride one a couple years ago in Israel, so they are smelly. They did not spit at us, but it was fun to ride one. I get just to check off the bucket list.
Some people may not know this, but I have walked a mile for a camel before. I have. I don't know if anybody can get that reference, but I have.
Yes, I do.
Over 30, for 30 years I did that. But
really?
Oh, yeah.
I did not know that.
Smoked for 30 years.
Oh, my goodness. So, wow. I just walked a mile for a camel.
That used to be the ad. Would you walk a mile for a camel?
Yep. Yeah, you guys weren't born when that ad was going on, so. But hey, we are starting a new week, and again, the next 2 weeks, again, we're going to be talking a lot about, the distracted driving as well, and we've got the work zones. You brought up great points on when they're working. Remember, a few weeks ago, we shared what happens to pedestrians on the miles per hour, and at 20, 1 out of 10 are likely to be killed, but just going up 10 miles to 30 miles an hour, that number jumps to 5 out of 10. And then to 40, it jumps up to 9 out of 10. So, as Sir Rick said, hey, got to slow down and give them guys a break. And this week, one of the focuses on the blitz coming up in a couple weeks is hours of service. So wanted to make sure we see this happen every once in a while. Wanted to remind every driver that it's in their permit book, but you need to practice and familiarize yourself how to send your logs to DOT when they ask. It is very simple. You strictly go to the options tab on your screen up there in the top left corner, and there's only one option that says send logs, or it says enforcement view.
Yep.
Always remember enforcement. And then you'll hit enforcement view, and the next screen will say password. There is none, so you just hit no, and then a screen will pop up, and there's only one option that says enforcement. It says send logs to enforcement. You click on that, and then it'll bring up a blank box that you type in whatever address number they give you to send them to and submit, and it's there.
Yeah.
So
we will do
simple.
a video today. We will make sure that Dylan and I do a video today for that, and you'll have it tomorrow, and we'll make sure that everybody can see the quick way to do it.
Yeah.
And it's real simple. I did the enforcement view. It's so simple.
Yeah.
You basically just click enforcement. There's no other option that says police.
That's right.
So you just click enforcement view, and then it asks for a password. You don't have one, and then you type in the email that the officer gives you, and you hit send, and you're done.
Yeah. So this week I want to spend this week on the violations, the certification of your logs, the form and manner, of course the major ones which everybody knows, and then again how to send logs to enforcement. Next week we'll focus also on the inspections. As we go through this, because we got 2 weeks prior to this week and next week before the blitz. So we want to make sure our drivers have all the information that we can possibly give them. We have a great opportunity here to really improve our CSA score.
Yeah,
because these are going to be, we're going to get inspected.
Yeah, I'm I would say that probably the 3 out of 4 inspections are inside the cab inspections. They're with the driver.
Yep.
I mean, they're just basically checking the driver. They're not with the truck or what have you. There are a lot that do that, but I would say the majority of inspections that you will face are just basically with the driver. They make sure that you are compliant, whether it be your driver's license and your hours of service and your logbook. Those kinds of things are quick, easy, and knocked out. And a lot of the DOT officers go directly to the in-cab inspection.
Absolutely right. And one of the things that they do a lot too is I've talked to drivers over the years, and they put a copy of their CDL or their medical card in the permit book with them. So they always have a backup. If something happens, they just forgot their wallet or whatever when they left the house, they have a backup plan so that they don't get caught.
Well, yeah, and if you have a copy of your driver's license in there and you have a copy of your health card, when you hand the permit book, you have everything in there that you need to give the officer anyway. That way you can scroll through it and check it. And a lot of the times, if you have everything that you need, there's no reason to go over everything else. He looks a truck over and he looks at it and he sees that you're organized and set right. He probably we'll move on to the next guy. But when he starts hitting stuff with problems and issues and things like that, then it's time to start taking a look at the other things. And a lot of the times, once you get through part A, well, you don't go to part B. But if you don't do well in A, you're definitely going to B.
Yes, that is correct. Years ago when we did paper logs, that was the first thing they asked for. And if that paper logbook was neat and correct, they wouldn't go further. Now they've replaced that with, hey, if your dash is cluttered or they look inside that truck and it's just a mess, they got an idea that that's how you inspect your equipment. That's how you do all the other stuff. So now they believe they've got an opportunity to find something wrong. So you're right. If they can just keep them dashes clean, have that permit book nice and neat and current, and when you hand it to them, a lot of times you will be they won't go to step B. You're correct there, sir. And we are at 19 days without a preventable and 5 days on to get out and look. So great job, everybody. We're getting close to that big 30-day marker. We got a little bit of weather, not much. They're expecting 3 to 5 inches up in that Montana, Wyoming, northern Nebraska, the Dakotas. It might reach into Colorado a little bit, northern Colorado, but not expected to be much. Temperatures are supposed to rise to about freezing or higher in most of the area up there. So don't expect a big problem with it. And then we got some thunderstorms in Florida and then on the East Coast in Virginia Beach area later this afternoon. So not expected to see a whole lot of big weather issues. Some winds do pick up this afternoon out there in Utah, in Idaho and them areas as they normally do, but not expected a whole lot of weather issues today.
I'd really like to see people, if they can, safely press the emergency key button and show us what they see as they enter into the construction zones this week. Give us some views, right? Give us some opportunities to look at the videos. Give us some opportunities to see them as you enter into the construction zone. Show us what it is you see. That way you'll have more to choose from, and we can talk about some different things, right, Bob?
Yes, sir.
Because the driver, y'all are out there, y'all are the fleet out there. You get a chance, man, reach over. If you can do it safely, reach over and press the emergency key button and let us see what it is you're entering into, what it is you're going through, and what it is you're coming out of. We sure would like to be able to see those videos as we focus on the construction zone area.
Yes, and please don't get discouraged if the video isn't being shown. Literally today I had 115 to go through, and I probably found 30 that we could have shown as good ones.
Right.
All right.
Oh, nice.
So obviously we can't show 30. So again, I try to keep it to that 6 to 8 range, just to get as many videos on there as I can. Of course, we want to show the ones we can learn from. That's why I left the speeding ones off, because speeding is speeding. The signs there. Just have the DM talk to them and get them to slow down. We'll continue to work on speed, but I wanted to show the ones we can learn from and the ones that we have already learned from. And there was 25 or 30 that I had to just I have them all noted on my sheet, and then I was like, all right, I got to kind of try to pick the 7 or 8 best ones, or we'd be here all morning, which is a good sign, right? When you got that many good videos to show, just an awesome job by our fleet. So great job out there, everybody. Producer, is there anybody on this Monday? Nope. All right. Well, drive safe. With that, it's time for
Pache R. What is going on, Miss Christie?
Good morning, Miss Christie.
Yes. So far, so good. So bueno today.
Good morning. How are y'all? Did y'all have a wonderful weekend? And it's starting to get brighter earlier and earlier. I woke up this morning and I thought, oh, shoot, am I late? It was a little brighter than normal. But so just wanted to remind everyone real quickly, if you're needing pay stubs, for our owner ops, obviously that would be in ExecuPay, or you can shoot us a quick email and we can get it from payroll for you. And for company and office, you will get that through Paycom. So you can go into your Paycom, click on payroll, and then you will click on view pay stubs. And then there is a little box on the left that you can check mark which pay stubs you're wanting. And then towards the top, you'll see a little printer icon. If you're doing it from your phone, once you hit print, it's going to download those to your phone. So then you just need to find your downloaded files and email them to yourself. And if you're doing it from a desktop, then obviously when you hit print, it'll pull up your printer settings and you can print. If you have any questions, please give me a call at extension 168, or you can shoot us an email at hr@bcbtransport.com. And today we've got one birthday, and it is for Daryl Young. Happy birthday, Daryl.
Happy birthday to you. Hey, Daryl, it really is your birthday today.
And with that, everyone, please continue to wear your mask, wash those hands, use antibacterial, stay safe, stay healthy. Have a good day.
Chrissy, I do appreciate it. You know, it is, we got to still focus on COVID. We still got to make sure that we do the things that keep us successful out there. It is still a pandemic, and we still must, as you mention every day, we still must do what we have to do to be safe. That still means wear the mask. That still means wash your hands. That still means getting vaccinated. That means doing whatever it is you can to make sure that you stay safe, because really, it's really, really important that you're careful both inside and outside, driving and not driving. And I'll tell you, it is still something very dangerous. Still, people are getting sick. Not as many as before, but still getting sick. And today, in the studio, we have Magic Man Matt.
Whoa.
Magic Man Matt.
There you go. Good morning.
What's going on, man?
You know it. Another beautiful Monday.
It was beautiful. Did you do anything yesterday? It was absolutely gorgeous.
The boys came by and we played wiffle ball for about 2 hours. I don't. It still amazes me how fast the kids can throw the ball because I never hit one.
Even the wiffle ball.
Even the wiffle ball. Right. They've mastered the art of making the ball move 10 feet.
Oh, and now you can't.
And you're looking at it going, well, strike. Oh, come on, really, guys? Can we just softball it to me once?
Can you lay off?
Please. Please.
No, that's cool. Yeah, yesterday I was out in the yard and I was spraying, we bought a bunch of plants, to recover from the storm, and we have a lot of dead bushes. So let me tell you what. So I have an outside television out by the pool.
Right.
And yesterday I had a bird trying to nest behind the TV, and the doves, and I got up there. They'd only started it. They only had like 15 twigs up there, but she was trying to nest it up there, and I got up there, scared them off, and shooted, pulled the nest and moved the TV back, and then sure enough, they were back over there trying to do it again, and in an even tighter space, and then so I shoot them away again, and then we did this standoff. They're on the fence watching me, and I'm watching them. And trying to keep them from, because I don't need them nested. That's a fire hazard right there above the TV, with branches. And so I was standing there and they were staring at me. And my wife comes out and goes, "What are you doing? You're just standing." I said, "You've been standing out here." I said, "I'm watching them watch me." And then, so I put something up there. I almost went to Callaway's and bought a owl. You know what I mean? And then I was like, those things are huge. Where am I putting that?
You just set it somewhere.
I'm not doing that. So I put something in the way so they couldn't do it. They came back, looked at it like a few times, and then they were gone. But it was a beautiful day yesterday.
It was beautiful. And speaking of the owls, we fished. I took my dad to Athens, and we fished just to get out a couple weekends ago. And that was the focus of my dad. Every dock had about 2 owls on it, okay? So every time we got by a boat dock, he's, "Oh, look at that owl. Well, that's a different owl." And I'm like, "Dad, it's the same owl. It's the same color owl on every dock." So we get to this one dock, and he has to take pictures because I think they had 13 owls on the dock. 13 of those, just keep the birds from
nesting. Oh, you mean he had 13 of the fake owls?
He had 13.
Obviously, something's not working.
Something's wrong. If you've got to have 13 owls on your dock.
Do they have the ones with the bobbly head?
Oh, yeah, they just bobble.
Yeah, the ones with the bob so that it bobbles. Yeah.
You know what? And I can remember as a kid, we went to the lake all the time as a kid, and my dad bought me a four-wheeler when I was 13. We'd go ride through the trails, and one night we were riding, first time to ride at night. And I remember pulling up on this little hill, and my headlight kind of shined up on the top of this tree, and the owl was looking that way, and all of a sudden that dude just and looks at me and thought, "Okay, it's time to go home. Let's go back. We don't need to be on these trails. These trails are haunted."
They're not haunted. That's when owls go out.
Exactly.
Owls go out at night. They're pretty cool. I'll tell you. What's really cool about owls is I didn't know if you know this or not, but they have their wings are different than bird wings.
Mm-hmm.
They're clipped on the end, so if an owl flutters its wings, you can't hear it. not like a bird. You know when you
Oh,
hear a
you
bird
can't.
fluff, fluff, fluff? Yeah,
I
you
didn't know
can't.
that.
Owls can't. You can't hear an owl's wings. They're clipped on. They're like hooked on the end, so they're like designed differently.
That's pretty cool. Hey, and I was going back to the bushes. I heard something yesterday, and I don't know if anybody out there has heard this, but they said that FEMA will help with the bushes and stuff.
Yeah, I think it has to be a certain dollar amount
Oh,
of
does it?
damage,
Okay.
like a certain percentage number. From what I understand, it has to be a certain percentage number of the overall value of what it is and other damages. I mean, there are a lot of people that have huge amounts of trees, very expensive trees, that were damaged and died, and those are very expensive. I
It's
had
something about a loan. It's a loan. It's a interest-free loan for 30 years
yeah.
for your bushes and all your plants. But I
For,
guess you got to have an amount,
yeah, I
a
think you have
certain
to have
amount
a
of
certain
them.
amount
Right.
in order to go in and do it. It has to be a certain percentage. But I don't know all the particulars, but I did see that on TV. I was watching the news. And there's so many different things that they do. Whether you have house damage, plumbing damage, indoor damage, outdoor damage, it just depends on what it is.
Could you do that with your pool?
No, it didn't meet the requirements. I mean, it was expensive, but it wasn't enough to
So
even.
you got to be a total, like
Yeah.
a total amount of
Oh
money
yeah,
that
and
you're
then
out.
and then I've put some towards the insurance. I mean, and they were like, well, you're like
Yeah,
right at
at the deal.
you're right at the deductible number. And do you still want to? I'm like, no, I'm not filing a claim.
No.
If I'm not going to file a claim.
We'll
so
put
you
your
can go up
bushes
on-
in. We'll
yeah.
put your bushes in, but next year you're
So
paying
we
another
went and bought some
$1,000.
bushes and I laid them all out. And so we haven't planted them yet. We planted the plant, so all the pots are done. But I tried planting one bush, okay, with the big shovel and working for an hour digging.
Oh,
And not only in the flower beds that I have, there's a lot of we have pressurized water lines, so the pressurized, so you have to be real careful with it. You can't just go in there and hit it with a shovel. You got to kind of dig down and move them out of the way, right? You got to
Mhm.
move all the pressurized water lines out of the way, because you cut one of those, it's like a crazy snake hose running around, and nothing gets watered but that area right around that hose. So I was doing that, and after about I would say after a good hour on one plant, I was done. And
No more.
No, I've got somebody coming in to remove because this was I'm not exaggerating. It was a small plant that we moved from one area to another area. So I had to dig it up safely and then move it to where my wife wanted it. So I had to bury it and dig it and put it in. After that, I looked at these really big bushes that we have. And I was like, okay, that's a professional. That's somebody that knows what they're doing, because I'm out. And I don't know if I'm lazy or if I just need some professional help.
I think you need professional help. You're going to be on one of those videos where the dude's pulling the bush out with his truck and it jerks it out of the ground and busts the back window out of his pickup.
So, Matt, when you come in here, and what I'd like to talk about is how you and how your group, even though you're over brokerage, right?
Yes, sir.
And how your group follows the BCBs of trucking, even when it doesn't apply to our drivers, it applies to our drivers when we have outside carriers.
Yes. I believe that safety is throughout. It's not just our guys out on the road. My people have been in the safety culture so long that you'll hear that all day long. Hey, be safe out there. Be careful. And when they get it, it's neat hearing those guys. When somebody calls us, hey, I'm running late, and they're like, hey, just relax, take your time, get there safely. We'll let the customer know. But yeah, safety through our side is just as important through your side, because they're still out there on the road amongst our drivers with other drivers. We just want them all to be safe.
Yeah, and we do that. We share the same values to them when it comes to being on time, like you're saying, and when we shut down here, like when we had inclement weather and it was ice or snow or bad weather, we don't just shut down for us. We shut down
the entire company.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. And the outside carriers too, right? I mean,
Right.
we basically, in that division, we make sure that we share in the safety of what they're doing.
Correct.
So how did so when y'all do that, you get it, when Bob issues that out, it's also issued to y'all, right?
Yes, and so the difference between, I guess, Asset and us, it's more of a phone call. It's not more of a tracking fleet message. It's a phone call. Hey, the weather's bad. Hold tight. Don't go any further. They're shut down. We're shut down. They're not getting unloaded. So stay still and be safe. And once we get clear to go, we'll continue to move. So And then you look at, inclement weather, outside carriers, you had to pay them something because they can just sit there. So you try to do your best to make sure they're safe too. But our philosophy on safety on our asset side goes straight through to my brokerage side. It's the same thing. If we're shut down in an area, we're shut down in the same area. Like a while back, we were shut down for winds up in the Northwest. So we don't run any of our runs. We stop them.
Yeah,
So-
and you're not, and you're basically just sharing the safety culture,
Correct.
sharing it with them so that they can be better. That's pretty neat. And it's nice to know that I hope that, do you get any feedback from them in those regards? Do you ever get, I know that there's going to be moments where
It's
they're like, oh, no, you can't do that, but I'm sure, do you ever get positive feedback?
Oh yeah. A lot of times you get positive feedbacks. A lot of times those guys will say, "Thank you so much for doing that. We appreciate that because it shows you as a company believe in being safe and taking care of us out on the road." And I mean, if we're not all doing it, not just one part of our company can do it. It's the same in the warehouse as it is in the office, as it is on the road, as it is assets or brokerage. It's all the same thing. We all have the same safety culture, and we've created this, and it's phenomenal because it's passed through to every one of our employees' home life as well. Whether they believe it or not, I bet you they all drive better.
Oh, yeah.
They're more aware.
Oh, yeah.
I notice now where I didn't notice 5 years ago, I noticed all our employees stopping before. If a truck's coming, they sit and wait. When a truck's pulling into our driveway,
Oh, yeah.
they sit and wait. Or down at the end of that stop sign, when we were kind of new here, everybody run right up to the stop sign. Now, the majority of our people will stop. If they see one coming, they'll stop 20 feet, just courtesy.
Yeah,
So I think it's just a constant reminder that, hey, take care of these guys. They got to make a water turn. Don't press the issue.
I know that it goes and extends differently, and I know that for me personally, having watched the videos, but now I'm starting to share the YouTube videos in a great deal, and the conversations and stuff like that. So my family listens to those outside on the YouTube channel, and they listen to the program. And what they're trying to do is implement some of the ideas and beliefs that they do out there on the road, because even a four-wheeler can absolutely learn from a professional of what happens out there on the road. And do you find yourself driving any differently?
I the other day, I think I went 7 or 8 miles over the speed limit, and I did it for about 3 seconds, and I got to thinking, what are you doing? Slow down. You're not going to get there any faster. But now I have Allstate insurance. So I have the app on my phone. So if I'm in my truck and I answer the phone, it dings me on my score.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah, it dings me on my score, drops my score down because I'm on the phone. Even with Bluetooth or not, it still shows you're on the phone, you're distracted. So I try not to answer the phone, or I'll pull over and put it in park and then answer it, because the last quarter I got like $240 back for safe driving.
Oh, wow.
And it also, if you go over the speed limit, it dings you. Because one day I was checking, because I just bought my diesel truck last year,
Yeah.
I guess, and I never knew. They say every once in a while you just got to blow them out. Every once in a while, if you just drive, because I only drive 6 miles to work every day.
Right, I got
So
you.
don't ever I can go 622 miles on a tank of gas with the average speed of 19 miles an hour. So one day I was
And you're not pulling anything.
No, except for the weekends, no. And so one day I was going home in this long straight road, and I thought, well, I'm just going to blow it out this time. And I got all the way to 100, and the phone starts buzzing. And I'm like, what the heck? My app's going, slow down, slow down.
Oh, my goodness. It's warning you to be
So my
careful.
score went from 97 to 38. So now I don't do anything. So now the funny thing is I've got my dad on the same app, right?
Right.
So if you call him, he's not answering the phone. He's not answering the phone.
Oh, no. It's money now.
Yeah, and I call him and I ask him. I just want to know, hey, where are you going? When are you going to be here? What are you doing? He won't answer the phone. It'll be an hour. It was Easter. We kept waiting for him. We were eating at my sister's at noon. It was 12:40, and Laura said, "I've been calling him and calling him." I said, "He's not going to answer until he stops somewhere. As long as his car's in drive, he's not answering that phone."
The financial incentive alone is probably enough to make people
Mhm.
change some of their behaviors
Heck yeah.
and out there. And I think that's great. I'm wondering how many. It'd be nice to know. I wonder how drastically that program, how it has changed the overall numbers for them, for their people, in a positive way, right? If it's affecting them positively, and if they're paying, it has to, if they're giving you a discount.
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
they're not just going to give money away,
Right.
if it's not working.
And I was shocked when I got the check. And I even called him and said, "What was this for?" Well, that was for your quarterly safe driving scores.
Right.
So keep up the good work.
Give me. Well, we have quarterly safe driving also bonuses that we do here, and we create and incentivize as well here. And I think that's important. Everybody talks about good driving and stuff like that. To me, since BCB always has been and always will be safety first, that's where else would you incentivize if it couldn't be safety?
Exactly.
You should incentivize safety first. That's where it needs to be. That's where the fundamental ideology is, and people, if you think about it, if that's what we truly believe in here at BCB, that safety is primary and safety is number one and safety is our value, then that's where we have to incentivize on bonus, right? That's where that way we can maintain the focus there, because what you're saying is your dad's behavior is changing automatically, right? Because he's not answering the phone. He's not getting distracted at all because it's money.
It's money.
It's money. And I'm telling you, money's money.
It's what it is.
It matters, and it changes things, and it changes the way, and hopefully it changes everything for the better, and it becomes a habit, right? It becomes a new way of thinking for it. Right. Not just, and if it takes just a little bit of cash to be safer, wow. What's wrong with that, right?
There's nothing wrong with that. So the big topic was yesterday with my oldest son, Taryn. He's 18. So he comes over and, he looks at him and goes, "Hey, I want you to teach me how to drive a truck." I said, "Okay." I mean, why? He said, "I want to be a truck driver." I said, "Okay." He said, "Well, a lot of people don't really think it's a good idea." I said, "I think it's a great idea." I said, "You can make a lot of money. You can see the world. I did it for 13 years and I loved it. And I was still, if when I retire, the one thing I'll do is drive a truck again, just to drive and see the world and do that." So that was the big thing. He's gonna go and he's gonna go and get his CDL. And I think at 18 he can stay in the state of Texas. I've got to look at the rules. I don't know. I thought it was 21, but I looked yesterday and it says 18 inside the state of Texas. You can drive a
interstate. There's different rules, different regulations, and different things that it takes. You can't cross state lines, I don't believe yet. There are some programs being implemented. I do know that Mississippi has one where they're doing some interstate programs with 18-year-olds. Look, I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm just going to tell you. Look, we allow 18-year-olds to go and protect our country, right?
Exactly,
and put their life on the line. There has to be a way, and we have a driver shortage. What is a better way? Why would we want to have 18, 19, and 20-year-olds wait to get into a different career before getting into this one, right? If there's truly a driver shortage. Look, I know that there are some immature people out there and immature 18-year-olds, but I'm going to tell you what. I was around a group of 19-year-old Marines not too long ago, and not a greater bunch of guys, mature, sincere, definitely, mindset in the right place, 19 and 20. If they aren't on the right track doing how come they can't be?
Exactly.
I mean, they are. I was very, very impressed with them, and impressed with their behavior, and impressed with their mindset. Looked you in the eye when they talk to you, very direct, very, very mature in all ways. And I don't know why that can't be applied into this industry as well over time.
And you think about it. You think about our industry, and you think about even in the late 90s when I drove, you still had to get a break. If you didn't have any experience, you still had to get a break somewhere. Somebody had to give you a chance to get the experience. And I think that's the biggest thing is, the majority of the companies won't hire them if you don't have 2 years of verified experience. And sometimes you just we've got to, as a country, realize that you made a great point by saying we can send 18-year-olds over to fight and say, protect our country and our freedom, but why can't we give these guys a chance too to drive a truck?
When the rules change, I think when the need is going to arise, and I think when we come to grips with what it means, I understand how important it is. When you get behind the wheel of a truck, and you're driving down the road, it is a big responsibility. It is a big mission. But I challenge that. It's a big responsibility to be behind a 90-ton tank.
Right.
driving that. They're doing that out there, you know. and
Exactly.
it's got a gun and it'll crush anything it runs into.
Blow stuff up.
So I mean, I'm not opposed to the idea of younger people getting involved in the industry and getting involved in trucking. Great stuff, man. I can't wait to see what's available and what opportunities he gets.
So
man.
yeah, that was
That's-
exciting. He's been waiting tables for a year now. So he said, "I'm done. I'm done serving food. I want to deliver the
I
food
want
now."
to do it. Yeah, I got a different service in that mind. You know,
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
You know what? And good for him. You know, it is a, you know, it sounds like a lot of fun and stuff like that. So you got an opportunity to come out here and to talk to the drivers, man. What have you got to say before we get out here? What do you got to say to them before we go today? I mean,
You know, and most of y'all know I drove for 13 years, and I enjoy driving every day. Today, and I like watching. You know, I enjoy seeing rigs run down the road, and I just want to tell not only our drivers but all the drivers, thank you for what you do. To me, it's a passion. Driving's a passion, and you have to have a passion for it with the mindset that you're doing this to better our country and to service people in need. And I can't thank them enough, because a lot of people don't realize the importance of all these guys on the road. They have no idea.
they really don't.
They have no clue what moves. They have no idea that they wouldn't have milk. They have no idea they wouldn't have eggs. They have no idea they wouldn't have furniture. They have no idea.
Not even a house.
It isn't even a
because-
house, because wood wouldn't get delivered. So I mean, it's the
concrete.
it's one industry that will be here forever.
Yeah, and I, you know, we in the industry realize what it is. I think a lot of it came into light, you know, when we had COVID, we had the shortages. I think the importance was shown on drivers. You know, when you walk into a grocery store and you see empty shelves after empty shelves, then you come to realize, hey, why are they empty? Well,
Exactly.
they're empty because you know, not able to distribute, right? We're not able to run, and when we had the freeze, right? Nothing was rolling on the streets. Nothing was rolling on the streets. The trucks couldn't move, right? It was too dangerous. And when that happens, you have long lines, long empty lines, and long empty, and you have shelves that are empty. You know, even
Gas stations that are empty.
yeah,
And no gas.
yeah, no gas,
Yeah.
no convenience stores. I mean, it compounds. You know, it just one after the other. They just start to fall without the infrastructure and without the logistics to bring the supplies needed to run this country, because we all depend on it.
Yeah.
Even we in the industry depend on the same things that everybody else depends on.
Yeah, to tell you how important it was, we all enjoy Whataburger. We all enjoy
Guilty.
we all enjoy sitting through that 8-minute line every time you go. But during the ice storm, I shot a picture. I think I counted 71 cars in the line, went all the way down to almost Debbie Lane, sitting on the shoulder waiting to get a burger. That's just amazing to me.
Because so many other places were closed.
Everything was closed. That was the only thing open.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything other than Whataburger being open through that entire time.
Yeah, and when that and you know their supplies got limited after.
Oh yeah, depleted quick.
Yeah, so it's hard. It's necessary, and we talk about it. Hey man, Matt, appreciate you coming in. You're gonna
Yes,
be.
sir.
Is there gonna be a regular thing?
Every Monday I get to come talk.
Oh, nice. So next Monday I challenge you to come in with a topic.
Okay, I got you.
Next Monday I challenge you to come in with a topic, and we'll talk about it particularly. Right?
That'll work.
We'll make it a routine, and then you bring to the table what we're gonna discuss.
That'll work.
Besides just that, we're gonna pray. You want me to pray? You want me?
You pray.
Okay, I'll pray. All right. Dear Heavenly Father, we humbly gather before you today to ask for your grace today, for this special day and for this moment today. Give us the opportunity to do your will upon the world in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Give us a chance to be a blessing like you are upon so many people. We have a chance today to make a difference. Father, give us that opportunity and help us reach out and do this opportunity and make it happen. Father, give us the strength and the courage to go out and do what's right today. Father, we also ask that you protect and watch over our people today as they go out in the world. Watch out for our drivers, watch out for what they do, and watch out for the decisions they make. Father, give them the ability to do everything that needs to be done today in keeping everybody safe. Father, we ask a lot of you as your child, as your children, and we want you to lead us and guide us and help us every day to be better, to be more, and to do more for one another. Father, we take from you everything we can, and we ask so much. Father, we ask that you help those that are sick, that are still suffering from this disease or suffering in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Watch out for our family and comfort them when they need it. Show them the love that they need every day. Father, we ask all these things in your name, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, everybody. Remember, today is a chance. We are at 19 and 5, right? 19 days and 5 days. Make today even more. Continue the streaks. Continue to do what needs to be done. Be safe, be kind, be considerate, and be a blessing upon somebody else today by not only taking care of yourself, but by taking care of the person next to you each and every time. God bless, Godspeed, and drop the mic.